All right, I have 6 o'clock, so we'll call our Charter Township of Long Lake Board of Trustees regular board meeting to order for August 12th. We all rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I turned it on. Roll call, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Wheelock. Here. Wagner.
Here.
Lempool.
Here.
Boulderang. Here. Caesar.
Here.
And Robinson is here.
All right. Also remind everybody to keep their mics close so everybody can hear them. All right, we'll open up for the first public comment.
Any person shall be permitted to address, does that sound weird? Any person shall be permitted to address this meeting of the Board of Trustees, which is required to be open to the public under the provisions of the Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following. Any person wishing to address the board shall state their name and address. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, excluding the time needed to answer trustees' questions. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. The chairperson may extend the amount of time each person is allowed to speak. If a group wishes to address the board, the chairperson may require the group to designate a spokesperson. The Township Board does not respond to comments other than questions by the trustees or to make necessary clarifications. Silence or non-response from the board should not be interpreted as disinterest or disagreement by the board.
All right, first public comment.
Kate Ingraham, 5170 Jacks Trail. As we all know, it's budget time, my favorite time of the year. When the auditor gave her audit report for year 2024, she said that the board needed more transparency. I took that you, the board, need more information to be able to make financial decisions. You should be presented with financial budget versus actual quarterly. Even if the audit is not completed, you should still be able to see preliminary reports. Before you took Twin Lakes Park, the board was presented revenue and expense reports with each department and each park on separate reports. Now the parks are all lumped together. There is no way you can make financial decisions without this information.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none more, we'll go on to the consent calendar.
Tonight, the consent calendar consists of the Township Board meeting minutes of July 8, 25, Treasurer's report as of 6/3/25, Planner's report for July 25, zoning permit list for July 25, zoning report July 25, enforcement officer report July 25, Parks Department report July 25, check register July 2025, Grand Traverse County Sheriff's report July 25, Grand Traverse County Road Commission July 25, second quarter investment report June 25, second quarter revenue and expense report, June 25, and correspondence from Charter Communications.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Also move.
Motion by Dan, support by Kevin. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. We'll go on to approve and amend the agenda. I have one amendment to make, and that's to add an easement request per Peter Faber, which is a piece of property in front of the emergency service station. And it would be number 7. I got that under my report.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
A second?
We have a motion by Rhonda, and who's second? You did? Linda was the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Conflict of interest, any conflict of interest on anything on the agenda tonight? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll go on to special reports. Grand Traverse County Commissioner update, Commissioner Morris.
Hey, you guys enjoying the summer? I am. All right, so our most recent meetings, we heard reports from Networks Northwest, fantastic organization, and NAMI, which was a timely report to come to us. We had a discussion on the Governmental Center first floor remodel, and we approved a cross-deputization agreement between the Sheriff's Office and the Grand Traverse Band to address some jurisdictional concerns while responding to calls for service on tribal land. Made a lot of sense to me. I don't know why we didn't do this before. We approved the ongoing evaluation of the structural and soil integrity of the jail and surrounding areas on campus. As you all know, the floor started tenting itself very recently at the jail. They found that there was no immediate structural concerns, but they want to go ahead and investigate further just to make sure. So we also directed a letter of support to be provided for the State Court Administrative Office to continue with the secondary review for the 13th Circuit Court Judicial Needs Analysis. In the primary review, it was found that, big surprise, we don't have enough judges to streamline the number of cases coming through our courts. So basically what we did was approve the next step, which is basically for the state to determine whether we really need another judge, and in that ongoing decision-making, we would then decide to put another judge position on the ballot. And also have supportive staff like more attorneys and court reporters, sort of thing. Right now, a lot of the judicial process is backed up for months. You can imagine how that would be in, say, a custody case where a child is taken by one parent and not given back, and then part of that process of deciding is, well, where is the child living now? You know, and so all of those things can have really dire ramifications for a family, and so this is what we're looking at. So in the township, I'm continuing to receive inquiries regarding the Cedar Run and Gray Road corridor. So I looked at the road commission agenda, and I see that the road safety audit is on it for this week. So it's typically it's moving at the speed of government, so I guess we'll see what happens. And act accordingly. And also the guardrail at Cedar Run and Straight Road. It was nice while it lasted, but I can see that it's crumpled again. At my request, I asked that one of the engineers go out and take a look at the road to see why it's happening, and basically what they said was, well, there's nothing wrong with the road. If people would stop taking the corner too fast, we wouldn't have the issue. So that was the answer I got. So I'm also receiving complaints regarding a residence in English Woods subdivision where there's an encampment set up complete with a shower and potty tent. And I know this is no news to you. You guys have heard it already. So what I did was contacted the health department, since not only are they concerned about gray water going into surrounding wells, but they also get to regulate campgrounds. So they were very responsive, and they're taking a look at that for me. The other issue that you might be curious about is that next week at our Northern Lakes Community Mental Health meeting, we should be hearing from the NMRE regarding just how many Medicaid dollars were put in the wrong spot and how much money the organization will owe back to the NMRE. So that's going to be on our agenda next week. So any questions?
So on Friday, all the tents were gone.
Oh, Good.
But I guess there's 2 back,
They're back.
so.
I
Okay.
came by
So
there
we
tonight.
continue to work on it.
All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like whack-a-mole, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know that the RSA was completed, and that's what they're going to be going over is that study at the road commission. And I was told they're kind of trying to figure out what to do with the guardrail. The good thing is the guardrail is keeping people from going in the ditch.
It's a very good
So,
thing.
But, so they're working through those,
Yeah.
but that's what I was told when I got my update from the road commission.
Yep.
Good.
Any
Any
other-
other questions for her?
No,
All right.
good.
Thank you, Penny. All right, emergency service update, Chief Down.
Good evening, all. Obviously, the biggest news for the month, our staff and ambulance were involved in the mass casualty incident at Walmart on 7/26. Long Lake Alpha 10 transported a patient 2 months in hospital. We had 3 of our staff on board. We had additional staff man and manage resources for the rest of the county.
Hold the mic closer.
That a little bit better?
There you go.
We had, additional staff manned and managed the resources for the rest of the county during the incident. We did do an open invite to all staff involved for the critical incident stress debrief. Other big news for us for the month, generator is offline technically, but they have it back and running right now, but we have a temporary part with a backlog part ordered, and hopefully we'll see that soon. But we are up and running. We did receive a 2% grant from the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians for the EMS Glide Scope. So it's an airway management device. I did put it was a short YouTube video, not that we have to watch it now, but for you folks to take a peek at it. It was interesting. And as of this morning at like 11:30, we passed our annual EMS inspection with the state.
Good job. Very good.
That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chief. All right, we'll go on to Community Police Officer.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So busy month, 70 calls for service for me, as well as 19 traffic stops. So I'm really trying to hammer the traffic enforcement, so we'll see if it's doing anything at all. But that's between calls. Calls come first, obviously, and it's been a very, very busy summer so far. I don't know if you guys have seen, I have a new police car, Dodge Durango. It's very nice. Quite the upgrade. I'm very happy about it. On top of that, English Woods. Yeah, thought I solved that problem last year.
Yeah.
Clearly not the case. So yes, that's not good. But I am aware of the tents. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot, but I have been reaching out to the owner to see if there's anything more that I could do to persuade him to go back to the way things were.
So what do I tell residents when they knock on my door?
They can go
complaining about-
direct with me if they'd
Okay.
like. I would just hand out my business card and my telephone number, and I'd be happy to discuss it
Perfect.
with them.
Okay.
And go over everything that I've
Good.
tried to do
Yeah.
at this point, and hopefully we can come up with a solution like we did last year.
And I'm glad that the health department's involved, because that was a big concern.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
good. Good.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The speed sign last month was on Bass Lake Road on the very south end. We had a lot of residents complaining about a lot of speeders going to and from the camp. The good thing about the speed sign is, like I said, it collects data, and there's a lot of data that we can provide with the residents. And in this case, they don't have a speeding problem, they have a speeder problem. One or two specific people that like to go fast, and not the majority of people. Now, it has been moved to Secor Road, and I can tell you that Secor Road has a speeding problem and not necessarily a speeder problem. So that is the stats that I am getting. So a lot more attention will be given to Secor Road. Next, it's hopefully going to Boone Road after the speed study is done on Secor, and we'll see how that goes. That's it for now. Any questions? Excellent, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, and then I got a couple updates. On our board of review, Joan Hart, who has been with us for a long time, is resigning from serving on the board, so we'll be looking for somebody for the board of review. She's served that board for, what,
20 years?
something like that, so and she's 90 something.
Something.
She's enjoyed it, and she still drives here for the meetings, but decided it's time to slow down on that. The other thing is, on our website, it talks about if you have 5 minutes for road millage survey, what we should do on those, because we're doing our budgeting, what do we do with some of that, and how's that work? And then water, sewer survey, just kind of get some input, what people think in the township, what we should or shouldn't do. Because one of the things we talked about doing was a water sewer feasibility study going forward. We also received a Clean Boats grant for $3,000, which was signage and staffing for boat wash demonstrations, and then tools we put at Bass Lake for washing off. They're just tools that go on the signs for washing their boats at those locations. We as well received a 2% grant from the Grantors Band for $10,000 to assist with the replacement of the poured-in-place matting under the playground equipment at Twin Lakes. And so we'll continue working through that, trying to raise funds for that. We also have a new firefighter, Logan. Say that one more time. There you go, Shenaniquist. So he started down there, and then Twin Lakes, just to keep everybody updated, the oak wilt has not stopped, and so we'll work on addressing that next year, because we can't do anything till winter time. So, and that's what I have. So we'll go on to, we have no pending updates, and we'll go on to the liquor license application packet, Edelberry Farms Estates. Cody.
Evening. Before you have a liquor license application for Elderberry Farms Estate. So as we discussed a few months ago, just to refresh your memories, liquor licenses are controlled by LARA, which is the state of Michigan, and specifically the MLCC. They set a quota by local government unit for on-premise. We have 7 allowed on-premise licenses. 4 of them have been issued previously, 1 is allocated, and 2 are available. So Elderberry Farms Estate submitted an application to get one of the remaining 2 available. Their application was completed in full. It was in your packet for you if you have questions for me, as well as their application fee. So I'm here tonight to help answer any questions you may have regarding that.
This is, how close is it to Jacobs?
It's a couple miles down the road to the west. It's do you know where West Side Community Church is? It's Grumpy's or Tilton
Yeah.
Road, where Tilton
Yes.
comes out. It's
Yep.
just about a half mile west.
Okay.
I think you had a map in here.
There's a provided site plan,
There's a map in
the proximity map. And Samantha did provide photos for you as well to kind of see the inside and how everything's laid out, so.
Thought what you provided was great. It was very concise. We just dealt with one of these very recently. I didn't have any questions.
Great
There,
information.
you can see that, Dwayne there.
Oh, there it is, Dwayne.
That's, okay.
Oh,
I was trying to get down to that. This must be way down there.
Page 115.
Oh, there we go. Now we got it. Okay, I see.
Any feedback from the neighbors?
Not that I've heard.
good.
If nobody has any concerns, do we just need to approve or recommend?
Yep, so the MLCC asked the Township Board to make a motion, resolution actually, on that item, and then you either recommend or not recommend, it's very poorly worded, to the state whether or not the local government unit recommends or doesn't recommend that license.
Okay. I'm trying to get to the resolution here. There's a lot of papers. So I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the liquor license for Elderberry Farms Estate.
I'll second.
All right, we have motion and support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Schaub,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Bolderek,
Yes.
Sievert,
Yes.
Robinson is yes, and Lemkool.
Yes. All right, next we have the land division ordinance proposed change.
It's me again. All right, so the Land Division Committee meets regularly once a month, and this last meeting, we approved a memo to you guys regarding how we currently conduct business. So right now, if somebody is looking to do a land division in the township, how it is handled is through a opens meeting that follows under the rules of the Opens Meeting Act. But all the decisions being made are purely administrative. So if somebody wants to do a land division in the township, it has to follow state land division law, our land division ordinance, our zoning ordinance, and if a private road is involved, it has to follow our private road ordinance as well. So our request as a land division committee was to take a look at our land division ordinance, which currently requires a open meeting in order to be processed, and change that so that we can run division requests administratively without having to have an open meeting. Our meetings currently are scheduled on Thursday mornings, and since I've started, I can name 3 residents that I've attended, and all of which have had an application present. So it's not very heavily attended, and unfortunately or fortunately, because it's an administrative decision, nothing they say or do is going to determine the outcome of the meeting. It's whether or not that application meets the 4 previously mentioned ordinances. Speaking with our assessor, who has quite a bit of experience in this area, we are one of the few townships, if not the only township left in the state that does it this way. So our question is if we could take a look or request to our legal team to redraw up the land division ordinance so that we don't have to have an open meeting. It also hinders us from being able to talk about it before the meeting because 2 of us is considered a quorum in a 3-person open meeting. So we can't talk about it beforehand, which creates lag time for our residents. When we could get something done in a week, it takes us a month. So our request is to do that, and that is all spelled out more eloquently in our memo here. So.
As I find it again.
But I am open and willing to answer any questions somebody may have regarding that.
So it can't be done without legally changing the ordinance?
Right, so right now our land division ordinance is a police power ordinance, meaning it was set by a township board at a certain point in time, and forgive me, I don't remember what that date is off the top of my head. So staff is not allowed to change that process. It would be up to the 7 of you to approve a new ordinance. We will present that to you. If you guys want to move forward this way, we'll draw it up and then send it to legal before it comes back to you. But that is that question.
Okay.
And Cody, it does look like it was ordinance 34, if I'm reading it right, from 1987. So it's probably a good time to review the ordinance
I don't know, I think
anyways.
that's pretty up to date for government.
Yeah.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, so we'll just look from a motion or approval from you guys to move forward with that. We didn't want to move forward with asking the lawyer to look at it unless everybody was on board, or a majority of you were on board with taking a look at that ordinance. So.
I think it's time to review and bring back a recommendation, would be my position.
I'll support.
We have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. For some reason, our internet decided to be slow. Must be everybody's online.
I have the same issue, can't satisfy it.
Page is not wanting to load.
All right, the next one is the Ragnar Road Rally, Michigan 2025 Major Temporary Event Application, which they've been here. This is
Quite a while.
7, 8 years, 9 years. So last year, the issue was they changed the reversal of the course, and they started in Traverse City, and they went out to, towards south, Grand Rapids, I think is where they are.
Muskegon's where they are.
Muskegon. So we had some complaints last year, and we met with them to try and figure out what we could do to make that better. And the issue is that they were going out of town when people were coming in town. And so some of them had lights on their heads, and so there was some distractions along the stone wall. And we said, that's not going to work this year. And so we gave alternatives, so they're going to run up Skyber, down
Cedar Lake Road, and then down a seasonal county road to North Long Lake. So it goes by the west side of Wheelock Lake, or Raintree Forest on the west side of that property.
Right. So they'll miss all that skinny air. That was the biggest complaint, was when people were running through there.
Is this the event, if I'm not mistaken, they put cones along the road, and they stayed there for like a week, and they were getting hit, and so these events, I know we've been very supportive of, but I would like to go on record that if they don't remove their cones within a reasonable period of time, they go through in a matter of hours, and those things are laying around for a week. Because, they were out on the road, people were swerving around them, coming in and oncoming traffic, and those kind of ridiculous.
They also have to get county road approval, so that's something that we can bring up. Obviously, if it's in the road right away, County Road Commission will have some jurisdiction over that as well.
Yeah. So I'd be willing to make a motion of support with one condition, that they remove these temporary traffic controls within a day of the completion of the event, would be my desire.
I'll support.
All right, motion by Dan, support by Kendra. Any further discussion?
I do just have one question as I look at the map, and again, my sheet, I'm not loading here very quickly, but the map I'm looking at on page 141 in our agenda packet, looks like the route still runs right by the rock wall. Is that being modified or updated, or am I looking at a wrong map?
It does not. I believe the map I provided, and forgive me if I'm wrong and I missed it, but the map I have in my package shows it cutting west on Skyber and then south on Cedar Lake.
There's like a second map in there, Kevin. There's two maps. There's
Okay,
a
mine's-
larger scale one, and then there's a smaller one that shows it going down that route that was described.
Okay, as long as that's accurate, I support it. Mine's not loading, so.
I said my apologies, I have a subset, so I can't call it the specific number, but
It's on page, at least in my packet.
141.
141.
You're looking at here?
I don't, on the page numbers aren't just so.
Okay. Any
Okay.
further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll go on to Applied Imaging Copy Machine Quote. There we go. So this, our copy machine is finally biting the dust. And it was there before most of us were here. So we have a quote to replace the one we got for the 6434 purchase price. And then they're working on a maintenance program, so we're not buying the maintenance program at this time. So I need a motion to approve that.
I'll make motion to approve Applied Imaging for 6434.
Second?
All right, any further discussion? We have motion of support from Kendra and support from Linda. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, now we'll go on to Twin Lakes. As we look at some of those buildings down there, lack of maintenance on those, painting. I've met with 3 different contractors to look at all the different buildings. One, the dorm, they recommended not painting because they said it would not be guaranteed. So they recommended siding on that one, but they're still going through some quoting on some of them, but the one main was Gilbert Lodge painting. That was $29,200 with Dan Brady's painting company. The other one was 29,400, so not far off, so they're pretty consistent. The other one was less, but they were not really into painting commercial properties, and they didn't have the staff that would show up and do that. So, and they said this can get done. One of the things we looked at was, everybody always looks for money, but we have money at one of our dorms or our rentals for with our rentals, which has $103,000 in the fund balance for that rental. And so we can use the money out of that to pay for that and start that process of going through those buildings and painting.
You said you had three?
We had three different quotes.
Three quotes. And
Dan Brady's was the middle at $29,200.
Okay.
The other one was less, but they didn't have they felt that they couldn't get the staff down there to do everything, and that was part of it.
And Dan Brady's a resident in the township?
Yep.
That invoice isn't in here, is it?
No, I just have it.
And it's 29 what?
29,200.
200 even, okay.
That's for how many buildings, Ron?
Gilbert Lodge only.
Just the lodge.
I'll make a motion to accept the quote from Dan Brady Painting for $29,200 to paint Gilbert Lodge.
Support.
We have motion and support from Kevin and support from Dan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion passes. All right, next discussion to get into, some of these is the CD3 boat wash quote for, this one's online now, so that's good. So as we go through our lakes and trying to figure out how to better take care of them, this is in front of us. It's also part of our budget discussion, because they probably won't get installed for this season, but this is out there, so the Long Lake Association is working to raise funds for boat wash stations, but we have 4 boat launches in Long Lake. We have Crescent Shores, Gilbert, Bass Lake, and Cedar Lake, which are those 2 are DNR launches. And that's where we just have the signs and the brushes to clean boats as they go in and out. So the discussion is, one, Long Lake Association wanted to put a liquid boat wash onto or a pressure wash down at Crescent Shores. I've been meeting with Eagle, and Eagle finally gave my answer today, and their answer was, I highly recommend considering other locations as doing so may eliminate the need for Eagle permit altogether, and the current proposed location would be difficult to approve due to our review criteria. So, and they actually showed this big old wetland area going right through it. And it kind of is, but we'd have to fill some of that to put that down there. We do have the one on the end that was taken care of by Long Lake Foundation of this building, but they're asking us to seek other alternatives, and the CD3s are other alternatives. The question is that, do we want to wait until Long Lake Association raises the funds, which are about $70,000, or do we want to start putting these in, and then hopefully the Long Lake Association will start coming up with money and help pay for them. So that's why it's here, just for here discussion. It's going to be part of our other discussion. Do we continue down the process of doing these? We've applied for grants. We've been told no once, but doesn't mean we can't apply again. And we'll continue doing it, because the goal is to get enough in our township for all launches. Because the law states you're supposed to wash the boats on the way out of the water, not on the way in, but we provide the way in as well.
Just looking for feedback, I guess I'd like to see the funds get raised first, but I know you've been very helpful with the one that's here. We had any other secondary issues that I know initially we talked about whether or not people would leave a lot of trash behind.
We don't have any issues with people leaving trash behind. I've never had Jim complain about any of it. They always wrap the hose back up. They put the brush back on the hook. So they've been taking care of it really well over here.
Yeah.
So.
That's fantastic.
What kind of use does this one get?
I'd have to rerun that, but I know we had a lot of people out here using it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We're watching them use it while they had the sale outs back, the farmer's market, so I had to think about farmer's market sale. So,
Do we have any sense with the budget from Long Lake Association of what they might have or they're planning to have or targeting to have?
I think it's still early. They're still trying to raise funds.
Okay.
It's just a big push they got this year.
Sure.
But, all right. I just want to have it out there. That way people kind of know it's there, and it may be an opportunity where we purchase it, we put it in, they refund us, that type of stuff, so.
Yeah, I would like to see them raise quite a bit of the money before we put any money into it. And I do know it's really important, and especially for this issue, time wasted is maybe seeing some more things on our lake. So I would like to get it done, but I would like the association to get some money in it first.
Okay. Yeah, because it takes about 6 weeks. Hopefully they'll get some money over the summer, and we can work on grants, and so, all right. Just wanted to put that out there. All right. Next, we have a easement request for the Peter Faber. I put that in front of all of you. So this is in front of the emergency service station in order for them to put the, Cody's coming up there, so you can help me out if I do this. There needs to be a 12-foot wide, 6-foot will be in the road right away, and 6-foot would be in the township property. The 6-foot area has above ground consumer's easement, but the easement would be for underground. So that's what they're asking for. And down at the bottom, you see the opinion of our attorney. The statute, the Charter Township gives the township authority to grant the easement, but he also said at the bottom that he's not confident I could do it myself. That's why it's in front of you. And so we did tell him that there was a $100 fee associated with it, and so he's okay with that as well. And we were just not giving property away.
So I'm not clear, Ron, can you explain the easement that they need? They'll actually be paving part of the entrance to?
No, it's just all the cable underneath.
Correct. So the application that was approved by the Planning Commission from Mr. Faber for Skyvale isn't changing. In all honesty, the request for an easement is coming from the power company, not the developer in this case, so it's just transient through them. So they're being asked by the power company to ask for an easement to run power underground across that easement.
Oh, okay.
Remember all the fun with that one, Andy? So if I get a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve the easement.
All right, motion approved by Dan, support by Kendra. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. All right, so now we'll get into our budget study discussion. This is the first time we're doing it this way at our regular board meeting. Normally we do special meetings for these, but we figured since we're in front of the cameras, we might as well have the discussion and go through that. So basically, what we do is kind of go, you all have in front of you, we just kind of list the stuff that we can talk about, the stuff we should look at, stuff we shouldn't look at. Some of that way I can go out and get different bids for different stuff, and then we can put it in our budget. The thing to remember is that I do have a couple timeline on the back of this. We have our form, the 429, that's due at the end of September, which goes for our villages. And then our budget's an annual budget, and it won't be approved till closer to December, but this is how this process starts. And we're still waiting to hear from the state on what they're going to do, because the state has not approved their budget to determine what our revenue sharing is. So, which is always a hard part. So it's just kind of waiting to see as we go through this discussion. Hopefully they'll have that answer soon, and we can actually run some numbers. But we'll base it off last year, and we'll see what happens. So, but in this process, we've talked about the watershed management plan, which was done in 2009. And there's some grants out there, but we'd have to have funds from us. Benzie County received a grant from the DNR to do theirs, even though we are the head of their watershed, Long Lake is, but they only did it by county, which sometimes drives me crazy when we don't do things regionally. So that's one to look at, the potential to be done. Long Lake Township's forestry management plan. A couple of our forests do have plans for those. And one is South Long Lake Forest Management Plan, which actually talks about trees being cut in 27 and 28. In Cedar Run Creek, I know I just received a call from them about doing some cutting out there to help maintain the management plan out there. So in the past, this board has always chose not to do anything with those. Cutting trees is always controversial, but it helps with the forest management, and so those are there. And if you want anybody to stop me, you just stop me in the middle of it. Haywood Park, a couple things we need to do over there. The parking lot is starting to show some fade, so sealing and striping for $5,200. It was this year's quote, but it's looking, these are for next year. Working through the berm around the road to help kind of noise around the bocce ball court. Continuing the walking trail around from the township. We still have that sidewalk that went to the old gas pumps. So let's continue that into the bocce ball court. That's one way to look at that. The other one is the Porta John enclosures. That way we finish them off like the rest of the week. Cody, can you see what you can do with that? Pitching there, thank you. I'm glad you're here to do all that. Technology guy. The Porta John over there doesn't have a surround around like we did the rest of them. And so that's one we could finish all that. Baseball diamonds, we upgraded all the baseball fields last year, but some of the fencing could use some repair and replacing, which we found was not very cheap. The west playground area needs some stripping and sealing over there, striping and sealing over there, plus a parking lot where there was a tree that we took down that decided to put the roots through the parking lot, and it's pretty bad over there. So there's some work over there. Cedar Run Creek, we have the DNR grant that we applied for, and Sarah is driving up to Hessel
Yes.
for a 5-minute meeting tomorrow. Because they said that it goes a long ways for us to show up in front of it. So she's been working through the grant. And so she's going to go up there, and we spent some time on the trail with the DNR folks a few weeks back, and they highly recommended that we go up there and talk about the benefits of Cedar Run Creek and how it all started from the Gilbert family to the Boy Scouts, and then now to the township. Our goal is to do some trail repairs and walking bridges and potential retaining walls. We did, again, spit for the grant. We were turned down one time, and then we were asked to resubmit it again, so we did. And so that's what we're waiting on. But some of the money will have to come out of because it's a match. It's a 51% match on that one. So that was about $250,000, I think, on the project, so we'll have to match some of that. And we already did put some money into public improvement funds from the 25 budget. Timbers, the dining conversion to a pavilion, it continues. We did meet with another vendor and the engineer to look at doing some different process out there versus the concrete walls, which put that project at about $600,000, which I'm not sure the whole pavilion's worth other than the memories of the building itself, but we're working through a process there. The barn, we're working, that one we found out that the paint actually has lead in it. And so it's going to take a little bit of different restoration process. Youth Work was out there looking at doing some stuff. They did some cleanup around the buildings, but that's not something that's in their stuff to work through the lead. So we're going to work on that. They've got some wood to replace. And then paint the barns to make sure we're maintaining them. And then we have some open spaces. Do we look at planting, leave open for future? We've always chose to leave open for future, even though we have a lot of people that show up and ask us to plant trees in there. But it's working through that. And how do we make it so it's easier for people to get around? What type of events could happen down there? There's not a lot. Even though we could redo the barn, we're allowed a couple events a year with our DNR, the grant we got. So there's some things you can do to show off the barns, the old historical, the Olsons used to pump, milk their cows down there, and the Armour Estate and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to get inside the barns. They're really neat in there. Again, timber also has a forest management program, and then Conservancy has been down there doing some trail management. They've actually put more fences up to help people stay on the trails, and that's been at their expense. As part of what they do as part of their trail management, we got people that kind of make their rogue trails, and so we're trying to block those off to keep those rogue trails. So we put split rail fences up and go from there. And they do all the maintenance on all the ADA trails with the diamond dust, and that's all part of what they do down there. Last year we put the ADA matting in so people could get off from the dock. We did all the docks last year so people could do all that, so they can come in and out. Twin Lakes, we continue the maintenance down there for the Gilbert Lodge. We have the wood floor inside. We have a quote for $15,675 to refurnish the wood floor. We have the dorm. We're still working through the shower renovations. We did meet with a potential group to do grants out there for that today. We walked them through that to see so they can see what we're doing down there. Out front, there's a little QR code if you want to donate to it. As that project, it's about $300,000 to do renovating the showers and making so there's individual showers for everybody versus a shower around the pole. That's what's down there, and that's, we did have a first camp down there a couple weeks ago. We had a youth soccer group out there. They were here for about a week, which was nice. They said it was very nice to come out and go back and forth. They did not use the field. We're still working through trying to get that field smoother and get the ruts out of it. So we're running a barrel around it and keeping it watered. So that's helping that out. But they said it was really good down there. They enjoyed it. A little kitchen in there that they could use. They slept in all the dorm rooms, and it was kind of hot down there because there's no air conditioning. So that's one thing that we're working through. I do have somebody that is looking at providing all the fixtures for the renovation of that. So that's the big thing on the dorm. The parking lot, we got some curb repairs. Some we talked about taking them out, helping with the plowing and stuff like that. We talked about the painting already. The dorm siding and replacement, they recommended that all the companies said there's just not something we should do. They said that the paint would go on and probably had to be repainted in a year. I am working with Youth Work to go out there and provide a quote for taking the siding off and putting the foam board on insulation. Everybody said the windows are all good with that, so we don't have to touch those. But I'm working on getting the pricing of some contractors out there to put the siding back on. And then some of the painting for the garage pavilions. The garage that's up by the entrance, by the Olson's cabin, is about $6,000 to paint. And the pavilions are about $10,000 each to paint. And the Olson's cabin to restore that wood on the cabin are about $9,000. So keep in mind, our goal is to only spend what we get in rent. And so we've got the tower, which is about $25,000 a year, plus up to $80,000 for the rental. So it's about $100,000 a year that our plan is to always spend down there and reinvest the money we get from the rentals. So that's kind of how these projects are getting done down there. That's how it's done. And then we're looking at potentially a fishing grant and pier to finish off some of the projects down there. We continue trail improvement maintenance with Youth Work. I know Jim's meeting with them to go down there and walk some of the trails as well. And then the pad replacement, we're working through grants for that. Crescent Shores, I think it's working well having our patrol officers down there on the weekends. It's amazing how people still double park in a boat trailer, even though it's all been, we put all new signs down there and it says boat trailer parking only. Did you get tickets to them today?
I did.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll get some of that percentage back, They say we get a percentage back, but. So we're working through some signage down there. I think the boat attendant on the holidays, that's been working out well. Both of them have a lot of fun down there. We've got 2 regulars and then we have a backup person that goes down on the weekends and the other ones can't work. And they just have fun down there, and I hear a lot of good things down there as well, and it helps be an ambassador. We're about, I think you're about, what, 35 tags for seasonal boat launch tags, and then we're about 4,000, I think, in boat fees, so the $5. We are working through, probably sometime soon, they'll have a QR code that links them to the boat fee or boat launch fee for the association, and then we'll have one for the $5 they'll be able to pay through Stripe. But people put 5s, pennies, 20s, 50s, they're all putting all kinds of... Yeah.
Sand.
The kids go put the money in. So it's, they're using it and they're paying for it, so, and that'll go towards helping, take care of the lake and some of the fees down there, so. All right. We talked about the CD3s, Gilbert Park. Our goal is to do an upgrade to that launch in 26, 27, so we'll have to apply for the grant in 26 with work done in 27. And that's part of trying to, because those are match grants as well. What can we do better for safety marking to slow traffic, striping the parking lot? The trailer parking lot needs to be redone because the drain is settling, the parking lot is settling a little bit. And that's also part of a drainage district as well down there. That whole area, all those houses along that area are part of a drainage district. And then also a CD3 boat wash station down there as well. Taylor Park, again, trying to figure out what we can do for safety crossing and markings to slow traffic. Upgrade fencing, currently using curb stops and split rail fence. And split rail fence, people like to hit those periodically. So we just have to keep on replacing them. And the goal is how do we help people get across that road safely? They come a lot of times over to Nick's store, and what do we do with the docks? We redid that dock a year ago, and so the second year of it. And so it's just trying to make it safer down there, upgrade the signage so it matches the rest of the signage that we're doing in all our parks, and then stripe the parking lot. All right. Cemetery, we talked about crypt fees when we did that renovation and added on to the additional. We're still working through planting trees. A lot of trees are getting older in that area, so what can we do to plant new ones? We continue to budget for those and trying to create a barrier between us and the property on the north, because it's pretty wide open through there. So those are things we're doing. I don't think I know we budgeted about 40,000. We didn't sell 40 plots this year yet, have we?
Getting close, probably 30 some, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's getting there. South Long Lake Forest area, we got the additional 40 acres 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago that someone bought that property and then donated it to the township through the Conservancy. And that'll actually help us get to connecting to Green Lake and to Camp Saki. And so our goal is to try to figure out the trail system between all these groups. We haven't done anything with that park yet for those trail markings. We're waiting to figure out what Green Lake's doing with some of theirs before we connect ours through the whole process. Bullhead Lake, creating new signage and wayfinding and trail maintenance is basically staying up there because that's really all that's there at Bullhead. Road issues. What do we do? And it's been a discussion we've talked about for a while. I hope to get into a bigger discussion as we get some feedback. I was told we got almost 72 comments back on our road survey just to see what people have out there. I haven't seen what they said yet, but it's trying to see. I really believe, and I know Dan and I have talked about this a couple times, this is a state issue, but I don't think our legislators are ever going to get around to fixing our roads. And I know I spent some time with our Representative Kofia, and we talked about roads as she toured the farmers market and she toured our renovated building. She was really pleased at how we did it with funds instead of going out and borrowing millage for it. We just had it in the bank. And so I think a lot of it's just how do we fix roads? And those, every time we do a SAD or we Every time we do, see, you got sad when we squeaked at us. So every time we do a special assessment or we do millages, these are just raising taxes on people. But how do we fix it? But I don't know what that answer is, but we'll spend some time going through that. And most of the time, it's trying to figure out what we do with roads that are subdivision or related, that not the local roads or main roads and primary roads. So we'll have some time and conversation with that. Continue to put park cameras in our parks. I think these have worked out well. We've had a lot of people ask for things. We've tracked down people that ran over signs and made a phone call. They didn't even know they ran over a sign. I don't know how you not know you ran over a sign, but so we'll continue to put cameras in parks. The issue is that they need electrical and they need internet. And most of our parks don't have electrical or internet. So we'll process through that. The other good thing is we put electrical and internet, then we're also can work on continue putting AEDs in these parks, because the one at Crescent Shore should be installed soon. And then, so we have to have that for that. So we like to add them for Taylor, Gilbert, and Timbers. And right now, we're using trail cameras. So we have a couple of those, and so we can see things going on with those. Township staffing, some of the things we'll discuss. Cost of living increases, that's usually on there. Insurance rates are approximately 12 to 19% for 26 year. I haven't got a total answer, but that's what they're telling me they're going to potentially do. Treasurer, we're looking at increasing hours for the deputy and mileage, because they're going to do a lot more meetings and trainings and banks. The assessors department, some of the things we're going to discuss, our assessor is probably going to retire in 27. She's been here for 36 years. So she got out before I did. We went to school together. So she's looking at, so one of the things that we're currently doing right now is Ken Chubb, which is our current OEO. He's been in school for almost a year learning how to be an assessor. So the goal is that Ken would work with her. Our plan would be to have him start a new OEO in the fall of 25, and then Ken would start in 26 in January, working side by side. Because the big thing is, how do we take all that knowledge and get it from Angela's into Ken? And so we have all that knowledge. So that would be one of the things that we'll look at as we put some numbers together. Planning department, one that showed up and saved money. Because we're done with our consulting with GEI for the natural features. And so, we budgeted $46,000 for 25 to finish that process off, and now recommend doing $8,500, and then, which will save that. The other thing we're looking at doing is transitioning Sarah's current position to administrative assistant to the supervisor, which she already does that, but also assistant to planning and zoning, and then also going after grants. So this year she, got a $100,000 grant for the building renovation. She did the $3,000 for the boat wash. She did $10,000. I don't think she helped you guys with yours yet. And the $5,000 for cameras. So, how much can we replace some of that with grants? But I think the planning and zoning are been pretty busy, so just trying to figure out how to put an assistant in for them to help out part-time. So we're working through that as some numbers and, how's that work? But it would require hiring somebody to be a receptionist. Emergency service station, we've talked about two funds. One, having a vehicle replacement fund. One for a second ambulance for a new or used one to have a backup. And then also making sure we're putting money in the bank for fire trucks, because those fire trucks were $700,000 when the last one we bought, and now they're 1.3, and 2 to 4 years to get one. So we'd make our final payment on our current fire truck we just bought. That payment's going to be done in 26 as the last payment for that. So that's $135,000, $140,000. So those are a couple things. We have a couple more years left on the ambulance. 2. So, the ambulance is 0 percent financing, the fire truck was real low. Yeah, 1.9 or something like that, so. So those are a couple things, so the goal is to, create the funds to do those things. Facility fund, we're still struggling with the heating it's up and down in the sleeping quarters. So I know that one of the things we talked about is trying to come up with a better program for that. But again, we just want to make sure we have the funds in that area to take care of the parking lot, long-term maintenance, that type of stuff. Okay. Those are some thought processes for the 26th budget session. So our plan is to, have some of these talks at every board meeting, and if there's things that people think we should scratch, not do, look differently at, that's kind of what I'm looking for, some input on those.
And Ron, we can make decisions, budget decisions at our regular board meetings, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, so, we'll approve the budget at a regular board meeting.
Oh, that's right.
And then, again, just remember, the budget's just the budget. I
Right.
mean, they can be amended, we make a budget amendments all the time.
Right.
But this is just a plan, what are we going to do, what are we looking for in '26? And like I said, I think a lot of it depends on, the plan isn't to raise the local millage, we'll still have the same millages that we have, but the other thing is just trying to figure out what the state's going to do with coming from them on their stuff for us. Yeah, normally, to answer your question, normally these are special meetings
Yeah.
that we meet in the morning or in the afternoon, and I figure if people are coming already, might as well have it at these.
Do we have any mailings or anything coming up to try to get more encouragement for participation in the surveys? I think it would be real helpful to have 70 is good, but it'd be better to have a lot more than 70 out of 10,000.
Yes, so a mailing is about $5,000
Yeah.
to mail them out.
Anything coming up at all we could give further notice or
No,
encouragement or?
we've put notice in our newsletters last couple times talking about them. I know it's been shared on social media out there, so people are getting them, so thank you. The whole goal is getting that, even when we did mailings for when we do our master plans and stuff like that, we get, very small percentage back. It'd go to about 5,400 residents. That's what we have. And so, with social media, it's like people need to share it and put it out there, and it's on our website, and hopefully people will see it, but most people don't take it. I mean, I don't know what you do with the mailing that show up at your house, but usually I grab it, and if the trash barrel's at the side of the road, it hits it at that moment. And so how do we get people to do it? And that's why it's like, take 5 minutes. And actually, it's about 2. I don't know if anybody's taken it. It doesn't take that long to answer. I think it's like 10 questions.
Could we maybe put it on our marquee out front?
You see how well that sign works? It's on it.
Oh, there you go. I was
Sorry,
wondering before
Kevin.
I said it. That's all right.
And besides, this only hits about 6,700 cars that drive by this side. We don't have signs the rest of it. In fact, that sign almost got disappeared when we did the renovation. Got disappeared, and it was supposed to go back to school. So I think a lot of it's just, how do we get people to do that? But yeah, it's about $5,000 to put the mailer out. And then we also have to increase our Survey Monkey program to take all those in. And so we'll watch all those as it goes. But I think the big thing is like when associations have their meetings, and it's talking about it, getting people to do those things. I already talked to Dave Baker at Long Lake Association. I talked to Crescent Shores Drive to do at their last meeting when I attended that. So I'm just trying to get people to do it, and I don't know how more to do it. Nick, you want to put the QR codes down at your place and put it Fresh Coast, we put them all over. I'm just trying to get people to do them.
Sure.
The goal is to get people to do them that live here.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'd rather have them. I know we're working with, Marv, the supervisor at Green Lake. We've talked about the water feasibility and sewer feasibility study, working with them in conjunction and trying to figure, I know there's some USDA funding that can offset some of it. We talked about, originally we put 50,000 of our ARPA funds, and then we put that in because we had to spend it. At a certain time, we wouldn't have had that spent with the ARPA funds. So, but we said we would spend it, so it's in the budget, but it's not really in the budget, it's in general funds. We just have to say this is what we're going to do.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
okay. But my plan is that I'll start putting the numbers in the budget and for recommended for 26, and then we'll have that in front of everybody so you can start seeing some of that, what it looks like as we redo some of those numbers.
If we're part of the watershed for Benzie County, how much of that can we just pull if that was already done, if theirs was done by grant?
Yeah, so we'll be able to pull what happens down from us, but we'll still, it's online, isn't it? I think our watershed study is online. I think we had it put up there. But, so we can just add, basically it's just updating what we have. And the DNR is really good with grants for that, so we're just trying to put that together and figure out what that cost is. But it's never been a topic because it's been done. But, we've been going through all of our other studies and that type of stuff, so it's just there if we decide to do something with it.
Sure. Yeah, this is a great list.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Okay. All right, well then I will update some of these and get these, for the next meeting. I'll try and keep a little study session at every board meeting to keep everybody updated. I do know at the September one, we will make the 429. We will put that number together and put that in place so that we can get that by the end of the month. So we'll make that decision. Okay? So, well, I already know what those numbers are, but we'll put that together. Okay?
Ron, do you know is there any guesstimate when we'll get our amount from the state? No? Nothing?
No. They're not even coming to the table to talk, both sides.
Makes it very difficult.
Well, the hard part is you got schools starting in 2 weeks, and they have no idea what their operating budget is.
Yeah.
They know what their budget is for building and stuff like that, because that's a different millage that's especially voted out there, but they have no idea what they're even going to open the doors with to run anything. So, at least we have till the end of the year to figure ours out, but I would not want to be a school system right now.
Right.
So, both sides need to get together and stop this stuff and figure it out. It's unfair to the state, it's unfair to our residents, and shame on all of them. So, I shouldn't say both sides, there's probably other sides in the middle of it, but we got to get it figured out. So, shame on them. All right, if there's nothing else on the study session stuff, then we'll go on to public comments. Same rules apply. All right, hearing none, we'll go on to budget status report. We have one.
Yep, it's getting to the end of paying for the remodel. This one, we need budget amendments for $57,135.49, and that was application 14 to Grand Traverse Construction. An iPad for running the video in here, the camera in the clerk's office in the election room, and then a desk. I'm not sure, that must be a couple desk.
No,
Was that just Kendra's setup?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, so that's the budget amendment that we need to approve.
Actually, I think it's Kendra's and Betty's. No, that was part of it. It's your desk. Yeah. So, all right. So I get a motion to approve the budget amendment for August 12th.
Make the motion, we approve the budget amendment as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Dwayne, seconded by Kevin. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Any Board of Trustee comments?
Only one question, just so we keep it on the table in the future for the short-term rental updates. I know we had staff trying to pull some things together, just so we don't let that slip through the cracks at whatever point, so we got timely for next year.
Okay, all right. Any other comments? All right, hearing none, we will adjourn at 7:10.